The word Asian does not appear one time in your brief. Yet, Asian Americans have been subjected to de jure segregation. They have been subjected to many forms of mistreatment and discrimination.
2 points. One is that discrimination against Asian Americans is wrong. It's bad. We do not condone it at all. But 2, our brief actually reflects the record in this case. There were no claims developed by petitioner involving the mistreatment or maltreatment of Asian American students.
Really? That's interesting. In a tense marathon oral argument that lasted almost 5 hours on Monday, Supreme Court justices heard arguments in a case that could fundamentally change the college admissions process, but also racial preferences generally in a whole host of aspects of American life. Joining us now for reaction to the historic case, we welcome back to the show the president of Color Us United, author of An Inconvenient Minority, and host of the Inconvenient Minority podcast, Kenny Xu. Kenny, great to see you again. I am sure that you were glued to this. I really want to get your reaction to the sound clip that you just heard, and that was between Justice Samuel Alito and the lawyers for Harvard, who basically said there's really no harm that's been done here.
Well, Justice Alito was correct. In UNC's brief on why they support discrimination against Asians, they used the word Asian once. They used the word black 6 times. They used the word Hispanic 5 times. They even used the word white more times than they ever used the word Asian. And that's because Asians are an inconvenient minority to the left, to the left's plan of racial balancing. Because Asians show that minorities can achieve in this country. Minorities who come from nothing, who have no social connections, but with hard work and study, and Asian Americans do, they can achieve, and the sky is the limit. And what UNC said was that, well, we don't support discrimination against Asians. Oh yeah? Then why are you supporting a policy that discriminates against Asians? Asians have to get 200 points higher on the SAT to get into UNC, and whites have to get 150 points higher on the SAT to get into UNC as well. Yeah. To me, that seems like discrimination. So I feel like the Supreme Court is going to rule with us, and that we are going to win on this case.
Kenny, Justice Clarence Thomas dismissed an argument from one of the lawyers defending race-based preferences as well. Take a listen to this.
I've heard the word diversity quite a few times, and I don't have a clue what it means. It seems to mean everything for everyone.
Been struggling to understand how race is actually factoring into the admissions process here, and whether there's any actual redressable injury that arises.
Yeah, and the second was new Justice Ketanji Jackson Brown, also parroting what the left has said, that she doesn't quite understand how this is harmful or this is discriminatory. What did you think was the most compelling argument? Because this was pretty tense. It went on for a long time. What stuck out to you?
Justice Thomas's skepticism of the word diversity. I'd like to ask all of the justices in the Supreme Court what the word diversity really means. In Harvard's case, every time we talk about discrimination against Asians, they use the word diversity. We need diversity in our admissions process. When you use that word enough, it begins to sound like discrimination against Asians. That's what the word diversity means in this context. It means we need to ask Asians to go to higher standards than other races so that we could achieve a diverse student body. And, you know, the evidence supports this.
Yeah.
If Asians were discriminated, they would be 43% of the university instead they're 20%. Go ahead.
And I want to, Kenny, I want to bring in some of the statistics here. There's research done by a Duke University professor and an affirmative action expert that shows that, quote, an Asian American male with a 25% chance of admission would see his odds increase to 36% chance. He's talking about Harvard. If he were white, and an astounding 95% chance if he were black. Real quick, how do you see the justices breaking down, particularly the Chief Justice, John Roberts, who's often a swing voter on the court?
Yeah, and you can find more evidence of the left's harsh discrimination against Asians in my book, An Inconvenient Minority. But let me, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson asked, where is the discrimination against Asians? And it's exactly in the statistics that you see. There's another study that showed that Asians have to get 270 points higher in the SAT to have the same chance of admission to get into Harvard. And Harvard uses this diversity rationale to make this case. So that's where I would tell Ketanji Brown Jackson, go and look at the evidence, go and look at the brief.
And where do you think the Chief Justice falls on this, if you had to guess?
I think the Chief Justice is actually with us, with Students for Fair Admissions. He has opined in many cases about the wrongness of race preferences in admissions, saying back in 2005, the only way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race.
Well, this is going to be historic. I mean, if this comes down on your side, we're definitely going to be following this case. We do expect that we will get a ruling in the spring. Kenny Zhu, thank you for your courage, and we always appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax. Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.